What's up, everybody? Welcome to Ham House Sports. It's Big Matt and Little Matt, and today is a Ham House Sports update.
Why are we wearing the same t-shirt?
That's really weird. I was literally just in my... We did not plan this, just to be clear, guys. Hey, difference. You're wearing jeans, I'm wearing shorts.
Okay. At least we're wearing pants. There we go. We're
winning. Yeah, we are winning in life right now.
So yeah, it's been a fun little season doing these videos on the regular, just to keep everybody kind of updated, to just share what we're learning in the hobby, encourage some other folks. We've had some folks reaching out, just asking us a ton of questions. So a lot of the things we're going to talk about today are questions that we get from people who we connect with in the hobby, and then just kind of sharing, the own personal update for us as we continue to grow Ham House Sports. So Matthew, I'll let you talk about your latest pickup. You were really big on this. This was like a really big deal for you.
Okay, so we've been talking about it for months. We need to get a big football card just to get ready. I think it's liquid right now. Everybody's buying football right now, right? So we're like, people are buying it. Let's buy it so we can sell it. And we bought this Joe Burrow camo PSA 9, number to 25, the Prism. And it's a very low-numbered rookie parallel of Joe Burrow. What that means is that not many of these cards are out there. So this is population of 10. So only 10 of these are graded at PSA 9, which even makes it more rare than the number to 25. But we got this card from Ken Sports Cards. Shout out to them. And I think we got it for a pretty good deal, and we're just going to keep it moving now.
What is the I want to see what the pop count is as far as like if any are higher.
No, there's 2 higher.
There's 2 higher?
I already checked it, yep.
All right, so it's a pop 10 with 2 higher.
Uh-huh.
That's pretty cool.
And the last one sold, but the same exact one sold on eBay, ours, last year.
2 higher, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're looking at higher end cards, you want to make sure that their population is in your favor. So, like here's
Oh yeah.
This is a Steph Curry Topps rookie, right?
I know the pop on that. So the pop on a 10 is less than 500.
What's the pop on a 9?
I'd say somewhere in the neighborhood of 1 to 2,000.
You think there's that many?
Yep.
I'm about to find out. 1382. Yeah. So the population on this card is 1,382.
And the PSA 10s, there's only 368.
Yeah. So of this grade or higher in a PSA slab, you're looking at about 1,700 copies. Whereas in this card, there's 12. So you've got 9s, both 9s. But that's why this card, does probably 2 times or even 3 times this card. And a lot of it's driven by population. So that's something that we had to learn, because it's like, oh, I got a PSA 10. Well, this card in a PSA 10, this is a Ken Griffey Jr. rookie from Topps. That is a PSA 10. But that card's population is
14,000.
14,000? Yeah.
Zion Williamson's Prism rookie card. 21,000 PSA 10.
21,000? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're getting into higher end sports cards, I would just really encourage you to check the population, which is why the numbered parallels are better and more advantageous. Yeah, 13,000. So there's 13,000 10s of this card. That's why it's about $150 card. There's about 1,700 9 or better in this card, and that's why it's about a $1,500 card. And then this one's 12. And that's why it's probably like a $3,000 card. So knowing how the population of a card affects the market, it's always going to help you in buying the right card. So you get into a card that has a low population, and with the low population, high demand, low population, supply, demand. This is basic.
It also means not a lot of comps. And for this one, other quarterbacks had comps, but this one had a low comp. And we'll talk about go straight into our negotiations.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So when negotiating this card, Matthew, tell them how we got there.
Yeah, so we got this card. We got it at a great deal. Shout out to Ken Sports Cards. It was so easy. But then that night, people were saying buying. So we messaged him and said, hey, we got this Burrow. They said, love the Burrow. What are you asking? We told him what we were asking. We told him that other QBs had other sales that do similar to Joe Burrow. And they're like, oh, well, a comp on Joe Burrow did this.
So let me explain this in a little bit more.
Yeah, you can.
So this specific card, not this exact card, but the same card sold in December for $2,100. Okay. Now that was December. In December, it was still unsure if the Bengals were going to make the playoffs.
Jamar Chase was out. They were struggling.
So there's a lot of influx. Well, they ended up making the AFC Championship game. So Burrow's cards have rebounded. Now that a lot of people are buying quarterbacks have rebounded. So not only is Joe Burrow up since that time, quarterbacks are up since that time. So that $2,100 comp is kind of out the window at this point. It's 5 months old, and it would be the equivalent of going to a gas station and saying, "Oh, I bought gas last week for $2.50. Why is it $3.16 today?" You know, you're not going to get the gas station to negotiate the lower price on gas. In many ways, collectibles and cards are like commodities in that they're frequently traded, and there's a lot of market fluctuation. And so when you're negotiating, you've got to be able to understand the market trends and be really educated in the market so you don't get completely beat up in a negotiation. Because there's a guy who came and said, "I'll pay you 80% of the last comp, and it's $1,600. And it's like, no, man, that's really actually not accurate. And so what Matthew's saying is,
the Josh Allen of this did like $4,700. And if you compare their base Prism rookie cards, it's really not that big of a difference. So that would make this, or somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 36. And we thought 3K was a pretty good asking price. Also, because the Jalen Hurts, who Burrow's doing close to 2 times, is doing like $2,100.
So what he's saying is you can compare your cards with other similar players and compare other parallels of their cards to kind of get an idea on what the best negotiation, because a lot of people will end up selling cards too cheap, or they'll have too high of a price on their card because they don't truly understand the market demographics. And so, or the market dynamics. So anyway, just when you're negotiating, make sure you understand the pop count, make sure you look at other similar players, make sure that the time factor is factored in. And so you don't end up selling a card at $2,000 or $200 that, you know, you should have sold at $300, or, you know, demanding $800 for a card that's now worth $600. Yeah. Because it, you know, has low comps. And so especially with lower paralleled cards, it's a lot harder. This Steph Curry rookie is a whole nother animal.
Because I mean, there's probably one sold, like there's probably close to 1 sold every night, you would say.
Like, it's just there's not that much.
This one is probably 10 sold every night.
Yeah, not that much. But there's a lot of transactions, so you have a good thing on. So the other thing about negotiation, Matthew, I'll let you show these off and talk about our trade.
So just wanted to shout this out. This was one of the easiest deals we made.
It really was.
It was just, the guy was nice.
Was his name Matt Graham?
Matt. Yep, Matt Graham.
Matthew Graham.
Shout out to him. It was like literally so easy. We showed him our card. He said he liked it. He showed him our cards. We said he liked it. We told him our value. He told us his value, and he paid us the difference in cash. Like, that's literally
it was
so easy.
It was that easy.
Please shout at him. That's probably the easiest deal I think we made.
So,
but we got
go ahead.
These. I'll show them off. Churio Refractor 10. And for those of you who don't know, Churio's a stud. We love Jackson Churio over here at Handmount Sports. Another Churio Refractor 10. 2 of those. And James Wood Refractor 1010 PSA 20.
PSA 20.
Yeah, 1010.
I like it. I know. I like
PSA
it.
20.
I like it. I'm just saying. Like
That's what everybody says.
PSA 20.
The PSA 20.
So we had Jason Dominguez blue, true blue.
So we had this card, but it was the blue parallel.
Yeah. And Jason Dominguez is a top prospect with the Yankees. And it was kind of a tough situation for us because we were trying to decide, do we sit on this Dominguez card and wait until he gets called up, which he probably will, could be next year. But we also have the base. And so the blue is a much higher valued card. And Dominguez had a really good spring training. But then the first few games of minor leagues, he was kind of fluttering a little bit. So his prices were kind of starting to come down. And so Matthew had a great set of cards here of upcoming prospects, and he was offering cash. So we were able to make a deal where we got some cash back in the bank, and then we got 3 cards of guys that are trending upward
that we like on the long term.
Yeah, and so this is going to give us some great ammunition headed into an upcoming show to be able to take to some dealers and see if we can move and make some trades on. And again, these guys are pretty liquid, so we could always sell these if we needed cash. So we felt like that was a good move. So with that being said, the other thing I wanted to talk about today that a lot of people ask us about is I would just stress the need to stay organized. And right now I can't like take you around the office, but like we have stations in the office, and we have like our packaging station, and we have like our
picture station, we have our product station, we have consignment station, we have grading station, we have bubble wrap station, we have like Bowman team stations, we have slab station. I mean, it's so like, I remember right when we started, you were like freaking out, like, this is not organized. I am like, we got to organize this. So we spent a good week not buying anything. It was like right when we had the Jordans, like right when they were at PSA, and we just organized everything. We sleeved and top loaded all our break stuff, and it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, if you stay on top of the organization, it's really going to help you. And so I like to create categories of cards. So you've got cards that are ready to grade. If you grade cards, you got cards that are ready to grade. That means they're already prepped, they're already ready to go, and they're in a box, and then you just send them off when you get your number or when you get the money in or whatever it is that you need. Then you have cards that you have looked at that you don't think are going to grade well, that are raw cards that need to be sold. And once you get those separated, you can have those in a category. Then you have cards that are raw that you have not looked at. And so you kind of know where all the cards are in that process. And then you've got your graded cards, and you've got your cards that are your sit and hold cards versus like this is our move box. Like, so these cards
sit and hold box
are sit and holds are on the shelf because we like to look at them. So that said, just have some organization to what you do.
Another thing I want to say to that is, say you leave some sleeves or some top loaders or some cards that you say, I'll do it later, but then stack gets higher and higher and higher. Then you have to do this one day that you were planning on doing something fun. Now you have to do all this. So if you just do it quick, you don't have to do all this stuff. It's like the laundry in my room. If I throw the shirt on the top of my thing, which I do once in a while, it'll pile up into like the biggest thing ever.
I'm going to make you watch this video and read your own, take your own medicine, because there's many days, Matthew, we need to list these cards or whatever. So,
I did list tons. I've been helping a lot more lately than I used to. I used to not like listing or do anything like that. I've gotten better at that, I think, because I've helped comp cards.
You just had to learn that that's part of the hobby. Like the fun part is shows and buying stuff, but the work part of it is, comping cards, listing cards, packaging cards, cleaning cards, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So another thing that I want to say, we got 2 more things and then we'll wrap up.
We have walkers.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah.
Another thing I was going to say is just the need to pay attention to the statistics. It gets a little bit exhausting because baseball, there's a lot of baseball games. Football's a little bit less, certainly less. And then basketball, there's a lot. But you got to make sure you kind of know what's trending. And so whether you go to Twitter and you search for your favorite player, or whether you look at ESPN stats, keep an eye on the statistics and keep an eye on what's going on in the hobby. We actually use a little website called Baseball Cube that lets you track a bunch of different players at one time. And then we're constantly looking on Card Ladder. For people that think that like the hobby of trading cards is just like a passive thing, it is for a lot of folks. But I mean, for us, it's legitimately almost full time. You're always looking at comps. You're always looking at stats. You're always kind of speculating your next move. You're always selling cards. You're always buying cards.
I guess like what we used to look at with the Bowman, like people that got paid as a first rounder that weren't. So Tucker Toman, he was a third round draft pick for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays really liked him, so they paid him like almost higher than they paid one of their first round picks. So that means that he has major talent and that he could be really good in the major leagues one day. We saw Chase Meageroff was playing in a higher level than their first round pick. And Chase Meageroff was like a 4th round pick, and he's one of the highest batter. Like he has one of the highest batting average right now in minor leagues.
So you have to stay abreast of the market dynamics and the shifts and the changes, and that's where you go, all right, time to sell this guy or time to pick this guy up, and you just have to be constant in it, because if it's not ready to sell, if it's not organized, and then the guy debuts and the card's not graded, you're out. If the
like
card's
a Jordan Walker Sapphire right now, it's doing $150 raw.
Yeah, so you've just got to be ready to roll. So that's one thing there. And then the last thing I want to say is this is the grading from one of our last clients, and you see the 2 stacks there. These are PSA 9s and these are PSA 10s. Super pumped for our client. He got more 10s than 9s in this first round of gradings. And, a lot of that I attribute to putting in the work and cleaning the cards properly and looking at the cards properly.
And here's our next submission.
And we've got a next submission.
Like, how do we show this?
This is a bunch of cards. This is our next submission.
79 cards.
Yeah, it's like 70 cards for a client. So we've got that going on. But just staying active, and just keeping a lot of different things moving. That's one thing about the hobby, that if it's slow selling cards, you can get into grading cards. If it's slow, trading cards, you can try to liquidate or vice versa. If it's slow selling, you can try to trade. But you've got to stay active. One of the things that I think is when you get stale, you die. So organize, try to get something moved. Just try to stay busy.
I feel like that December, like in December, we had a first part of good December. The middle of December was just not very good, like at Christmas and other than the couriers. But like we didn't sell a lot, is what I'm saying.
You were just busy.
I know, we were very busy. Like we bought like the Julio and all stuff before, and then like right when we bought the Gunner, it like everything just flipped. Another thing I wanted to show, we were in Charleston for spring break, and we went to the River Dogs game. And this is Xavier Isaac. He's going to be in 2023 Bowman, which is actually coming out in next week. And we got his autograph. We got 2 of those. We got Ryan Cermak, Chandler Smith. We got all their autographs, Dominic Keegan. But a few days ago, we went to the New Hanover High School South Brunswick game. And South Brunswick has one of the top major league prospects, Walker Jenkins. He is supposed to be a top 5 pick in the MLB draft this year. And we got 3 of his autographs. Super pumped about that.
Yeah, so we've got some memorabilia, collectible stuff. We got a couple balls signed. We got a couple cards signed. And so just, continually adding to the collection.
Yep. And we can talk about
and chine to ground. No, I think that's good. We've got we're like 17 minutes here, so we want to keep it short. But anyway, I know it's a lot of information. We really are just doing these videos for you guys to give you some kind of insight onto how we think, how we're processing through, how the card business has been successful for us. And again, it's not always good. Sometimes you have to take your losses on cards and move. But the biggest mistake I would say that you could make is by not being active. You got to stay active. You got to stay fresh. You got to keep cards moving. You got to be doing something, whether it's sorting or cleaning or grading or selling or trading or whatever. Always kind of stay busy, stay active. If stuff gets stale, it usually dies. So anyway, anything else, Matthew?
I think that's it.
All right,
Warriors are winning the playoffs.
Who is?
Warriors.
They're going to win?
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox just had 2 good games. Really, 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 really good games. But Warriors are winning.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.